Hey guys, what's going on, friends and family? My name is Skylent, and today we're going to be playing some Runescape in the background because it's a prime example of what we're talking about today. Also, I want to do a video, I want to start streaming it and do a full review on RuneScape 3 hype. I'm actually pretty excited for that. However, today's topic is going to be about premium services, premium accounts, just premium. You know, sometimes it goes around different names and stuff like that. You know, sometimes it's colored differently, it's called something different, but for the most part, you guys know what I'm talking about, right? You have the base players, sometimes there's even different levels of premium, but then you have the premium players, which separates the player base in a number of different ways and differentiates us, and it can cause so many different troubles, at least in my opinion, and so that's what I want to talk about. Now, not all games do it poorly. However, I think most games do premium services poorly. Even, you know, most modernly, I think Albion Online. I really don't appreciate the way they do premium. In fact, I would say I don't like premium. I think Battlefield 1 and Battlefield 4 and 3 and many console shooters do premium horribly, awfully. I don't agree with it. In fact, that's why I did not purchase the newest Battlefield, even though I was so hyped for it and I really wanted to play it, and I played every other Battlefield previously, so I just really do not appreciate that. Now, some games kind of like break apart premium, so you can buy different parts of the premium services individually, or you can subscribe to a premium. Sometimes it's just a one-time purchase, you know, a box copy. Sometimes it is, you know, sub fee. Sometimes it's both. You know, there's so many different ways to purchase, consume, and use premium, and there's so much, like, there's so many ways that, like, premium could just go awry and just be very anti-consumer. So overall, I'm just gonna, you know, kind of lump it all together. I'm saying premium overall is not good. So let's go into the reasons of why that is. So immediately, gameplay in the background is RuneScape, and the reason is because they have a premium service, and this is their subscription fee, kind of. Now, it's a little bit in a gray area. See, the reason why I don't like this is, I actually put RuneScape in my top 10 actually free games, because it is a free-to-play game. The content that is free is really good free content, and apparently, eventually, you can actually get subscription from, you know, in-game currency and using that to buy the subscription. So if you grind long enough, then I guess eventually you can do that. So technically, yeah, I guess it's not that premium, but everybody spends the money. Everybody pretty much does to a point. So there is this there is a free player, there's the base player, and then you have the subscription player. So I don't think there's any tiers higher than that, but you have those two players. You have free players, and then you have premium players. And here is the thing. Even though technically, eventually, you know, in a lot of these games too, you can earn the premium features through in-game, you know, grinding and stuff like that. The problem is that if you were to start, let's say with a friend, these are massively multiplayer online games. A lot of the times you're going to play with a party or with friends. So let's say you are the free player and then your friend is the premium player. In RuneScape specifically, he will, like, almost immediately, he will be able to actually do content that you simply will not be able to do. So if you're all, you know, both playing together at the same exact time, then simply he will be able to do fun stuff, you know, he'll be able to do extra stuff, and you're just going to be sitting there waiting. And then eventually, when you're done with the free content, which you can blow through in like a day or two, if you know, really run through it, he will then be able to continue playing, and you won't be able to. And you're gonna have to grind and grind and grind and grind for an amazing amount of time before you ever get to reach his status. And this is a problem because RuneScape is advertised and has been advertised as a free game. And technically, it is a free game, right? I guess, but I don't know, man. I think we should really change the rules. In fact, I kind of wish I took RuneScape off of my actual free list. I mean, nothing wrong with RuneScape. RuneScape is an amazing game, and it is worth the money. But, you know, does it deserve the advertisement that it gets when, you know, all these top 10 lists? I mean, I'm guilty of it. I put it on tons of top 10 free-to-play lists, but is it really a free-to-play game? I mean, kind of, but, you know, it's that gray area, and it's because they added in this premium, you know, status thing that it's allowed to do that. So, really, I kind of think of it's like freemium, if that makes sense. Now, there's some games that do premium right, as in they don't do premium. There's World of Warcraft, for instance. StarCraft, there is also, let's see, we've got Final Fantasy XIV, most recently, just allowed for an extended demo, as in it's no longer time-gated. So World of Warcraft, no longer time-gated. StarCraft, no longer time-gated. Diablo is incredibly gated though, so I'm going to count that more as an actual demo. But these games, I think, could totally fit themselves in a gray area, because World of Warcraft there's a ton of content, and the early level stuff is really, really good too. Like Undead Starting Zone, hands down, freaking amazing. I think I say that every time every possible chance I get. It's great. And in fact, most of my gameplay in World of Warcraft is just restarting characters and playing the new leveling zones because their stories are good and some of it's cinematic and some of it's just really a cool experience. And playing the different classes to level 20 is pretty fun, man. So I spent most of my time in World of Warcraft doing that. Every class, every race, playing them and trying them. And it's a lot of cool stuff there. Final Fantasy XIV is probably gonna have a similar thing, though its early game is not as fun. But those games aren't, they're not touting themselves as free-to-play games. They're not saying that, oh, it's free to play, but then there's this premium service and you get to do all this other stuff. It's not like that. It's just, this is the game and you can try it out and we're not gonna claim anything otherwise. And that's really good. That's good for advertising. That's consumer-friendly advertising in a way. So I think RuneScape, it's kind of detrimental to itself. I think that's probably why it's only really keeping the people that already have played it. It's why it's not really bringing in a lot of new players. It's just one way that it kind of presents itself. And this is going to be for a lot of different games. A lot of games will tout themselves as free to play, but when you finally get into it, you see all the restrictions, and that really just hinders a new player to get into the game. Even if they do start the game and maybe they play with another player, there's so many ways that premium can actually pull apart people that want to play together. So here's an example. What if a free player gets all of the same content as a premium player, but a premium player goes through the content faster? Well, the problem is, especially in MMOs or just online games period, where you play with a friend, they will go through the content faster, which means you won't be able to keep up. That is a tragedy. That is an absolute tragedy, and I don't want to see that. There's games such as even Planetside 2, which doesn't really have gated content in a way. Like, the whole world is open to you. You can do pretty much everything immediately. However, if you wanted to get really serious into the game immediately, there are certain sort of roles or weapons that you won't be able to use. There's like an archetype of gameplay, and there's a role to be filled in parties that, or like, in guilds or stuff like that, that you won't be able to fill because you don't have the money. Like you'll need to immediately pay for C4 or whatever if you want to do some crazy parad jumping, C4 onto vehicles and weird stuff like that. I don't know. There's certain things, there's certain weapons and there's certain roles that you can't play unless you spent money immediately. So whenever I play Planetside 2, a bunch of my friends had already played a lot. They already spent money too, and they wanted to do a very specific thing. They wanted to have like a specific kind of strike party, and they're like, "Hey, dude, you need to go purchase this weapon. You need to go get these modifications so we can go do this thing properly. Otherwise, you're gonna hold us back." And that really sucks. So a game that is completely open, completely free, and you can actually get all this stuff in game. So like immediately there's almost no content to grind for, and yet still I felt an incentivization to spend money. Now they do also have this premium status where you can actually you grind faster. So there is that incentivization, and it really hinders a free-to-play player. Even if all my group was free-to-play, you're still going to feel the grind. You're still going to feel like you're not doing as much as you could be doing. You're not as versatile. You're not as strong as you could be with all the customizations with your weapons and everything. Not saying you can't play Planetside 2 as a free-to-play player. It's just you will feel a slight tug on your heartstrings that it's not as good as it could be because they do have this premium status where you can level up faster, earn certs faster, and stuff like that, dude. So stuff like that, even a game like that, which would be probably one of the better free-to-play models, debatably, to some people. I think it's actually maybe not, but it's still, in terms of this conversation of premium statuses, its content is completely open and available, unlike RuneScape. So in terms of the premium status, it's still okay, it's fine, you can play the game, but I think it still kind of separates players, and I think it hinders players. I think it hurts players in a way. It hurts the consumers. It makes for a slightly unfun experience depending on a number of variables. So yeah, there's games like Lego Minifigures Online was trying to do something similar to RuneScape, but it was free to play, but it had all this other issues. But one big thing is that there was dungeons, and immediately level 1, you would come face to face with multiple dungeons that you could not enter unless you had the premium. That sucks. RuneScape is something similar, though they're a little bit more, they kind of spread out the membership stuff to a little bit later in the game, but still, in your face, every once in a while, there's going to be something that's like, oh, you need membership to do this thing. And it's like, there's this quest, you need membership to do this quest. And then it just becomes more and more as you play the game. So some games are a little bit more sneaky about it. They're a little bit more, smooth about things. But I really appreciate games that when their premium status is completely, entirely, wholly cosmetic. And even then, that can separate the player base a little bit, but I guess that's fine, you know? So it's gonna be games like Unturned. And to an extent, that was Minecraft in a way. Like, you could play Minecraft for free, though I don't know how legal that was exactly. Yeah, you actually purchase the game for the right to customize and join servers and stuff like that, proper, real servers. And yeah, Unturned's like that too, $5, and then you get customization. I'm not sure if there's any extra features to that, but for the most part, I think that, yeah, player bases all together. Battlefield 1, bad experience. You know, Halo did that, Call of Duty did it. I don't like these premiums, and sometimes it's, you know, it's divided up. Sometimes it's divided in DLCs, but that's still, you're purchasing a premium sort of membership access to that content that other players can't get. And if you're playing an online game, anything at all that separates the player base is negative. That is a negative. You want the people to always be able to mingle and mix at any time. The only time that you want to separate players is based on ranking, because you're playing ranked and matchmaking. And then to an extent, you should always have at least another, you know, server browser or something so that other players can mix and mingle, custom game, stuff like that. But whenever you're trying to play, especially MMOs that gate dungeons and content later on, if you're going to separate players, you know, based on premium memberships and stuff like that, then what's the point? You're making a social game and making it hard to be social because it's exclusive, and then that exclusivity becomes sexy to some people and they spend money and you get money. It's fucked up. And of course it's the players' fault too, because the players are buying it, you know, they just like pay to win stuff, you know, it's kind of the players' fault because there are whales that do enjoy that and they like pay to win. So it kind of sucks, but I don't really know how to fix it. So I just kind of ranted. Premium, I think, is anti-consumer for most part, because most companies do it wrong. And I would love to know your thoughts and opinions. What games do it right? Which games do it poorly? And do you appreciate games that are opening up finally? You know, like Final Fantasy XIV. They have a demo. It's free to play up to like level 30 something, and then you can pay for the subscription and play the rest of the game. But they're not under the guise that it's a premium membership. It's just the membership, and you're getting a demo to try the game to see if you want the membership. Or RuneScape is the opposite, where it kind of claims otherwise. Let me know your thoughts and opinions, guys, and this in no way is gonna really kind of, you know, it's not me admitting that RuneScape sucks, guys, by the way, so my review is still in effect here. I'm gonna be streaming and playing the game, and I'm probably gonna have a lot of fun. Hopefully you guys will too, and join us there. I just wanted to mention this one small facet, and to some games, it's a big facet, kind of like RuneScape, so it could make or break. Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. Hope you guys are having fun. My name's Skylent, and I'll see you in the next one.